make the strings.
Alright guys, we got the new truck loaded up with the old trailer. Got ramps and straps and spare tire and all that stuff. I actually washed this thing today, but you can't tell because it's silver. But guess where we are going? It's crazy how quiet these things start up. But we are on our way up to Denver, to the birthplace of this guy, and we're going to pick up a 2015 Mustang. So I kind of got a little carried away with you know, my ideas on wanting a Mustang drift car, and you know, I mean, I guess I could explain that a little bit more later, but anyhow, it popped up on the auction. It's wrecked, and I guess you guys will see it here in a little bit. I think we got like a, you know, a couple hour drive. The one thing I hate about going to Denver is obviously the traffic, but yeah, here we go. Mass airflow sensor is angry because the intake hasn't been actually tuned for it yet. So the trip's going so far so good. I think we're like 50 miles or so in, maybe not 50 miles. We got some Adam LZ MPG right there. I was bored because I don't have a co-pilot today, so I'm not really watching it. I'm just kind of glancing at it here and there and kind of listening to you know, to what he's doing. But he's cleaning up his engine bay, so that's tight. He's needed to do that for a while, but yeah, I guess overall the truck is doing great so far. It's getting like 14.5 miles a gallon, which, if that's really what it's getting, that's like 4.5 more than Big Dirty gets. One of the things I really like about it so far is the mirrors, like that concave mirror on the bottom. Like, you can just see so much of like everything. The seats are pretty comfy. I guess it since it is an F350, the suspension is a little bit more stiff than my truck, which is F250, and this is also coil spring front versus leaf spring. But you can see, like, this is kind of what the water bottle looks like, and this is actually kind of like a smoother piece of road right here. But you can just kind of feel, it just feels a lot more rigid when you're kind of cruising down the road. It doesn't feel, you know, as kind of soft, which my truck isn't that soft either. But yeah, so I mean, coolant temps are good. Check engine lights stayed off. No like hoses have popped off and left me with like a cloud of like coolant smoke or something coming out of the hood. Trailer and everything, I mean, obviously you could barely tell that it's back there. We cruise around, you see we're like 1500 RPM right there. We're doing almost 80. The speedos, we're doing 75 right now. So that's about what it looks like at 75. Cruising, I think that's like 6 or 7 pounds of boost. But I mean, overall it feels pretty good. You know, cruising about 80, 81. It's you know, closer to 2,000 RPMs, and it actually feels like it has decent power right there. When I was accelerating, getting on the highway, I had it in the tow haul mode, and I actually really liked the way that it was shifting in that mode. I think that would actually be really good for towing a trailer, you know, especially like the heavy enclosed. The one thing is this does not have the trailer brake controller on it. You can see this is pretty much where the trailer brake control is supposed to go, right where my wallet's at. And I think he had one mounted down there. You can see like 2 little screws or whatever. But yeah, so it needs a trailer brake controller, but you know, I'm only picking up something on the flat trailer. It shouldn't be too heavy. And I used to tow, you know, with my truck all the time without the trailer brake working because it had a short in it. One of the things I do not like is like the traction control and hill descent thing is over there, and I feel like that's not the passengers, that's mine. That needs to be over here. Also, this thing right here, which is the heat for the climate control, is really far over there. So like when you're just cruising, you gotta like really like reach over to get to it, and you can't really see like where it's at on the dial. So I guess that's one of the complaints so far. The hood looks a lot different than what I'm used to, but I mean, overall it feels great. I mean, the power's good. With the straight pipe, it's not really that loud either. I guess I could do like a little acceleration thing. you guys could hear that. Yeah, cruise control seems to work really good too. It's just a lot nicer, like driving around like a little bit newer truck. It's so much quieter in here than like in my truck. One of the things I also do, like the sync is pretty good because I have the Bluetooth paired up to my phone. I'm charging it with the port right there. But so the sync works good. You know, the telephone calls and stuff are kind of nice to have on there, you know, because the Bluetooth. But I definitely like the stereo in my truck a lot better because I have like 4-channel amp with Boston acoustic, like you know, component speakers and stuff in the front, and I have like a 12-inch subwoofer behind the seat. So you know, the audio quality of my truck's a lot better. You know, and like I said, this truck is kind of a test. I'm not sure exactly keeping it, not keeping it. But it's a good test. So I think eventually I would like to get an actual like 2015 Lariat with you know, like the nice touch screen and the big center console and all that, because this center console is like super tiny on the inside. You could like barely put anything in there. So I don't know, I guess I'm gonna continue. The other thing it needs is tinted windows, and when the sun is behind you, this thing like shines you right in the damn face. We got a Mustang, brother. You know what's crazy is look how skinny them tires are compared to, like, those things have like 400 and some horsepower from the factory. So maybe that's why they get all boogered when, you know, you pull out of a car, you know, car meet, you turn off traction control. I don't know. We're like 6 minutes away though. The only weird thing it did was we went over this like bump and it like hopped and like the traction control like kicked in for a second. I had like no throttle for like 5 seconds, and I was like, oh no, here we are, like middle of Denver, like, you know, not necessarily rush hour traffic, but middle of Denver, like in traffic, like there's no shoulder to pull over on, there's concrete on both sides, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. But yeah, doing all right. So 5 miles away. Here we are again, same exact place that this guy came from. So we'll see if we can't get her loaded up without getting too boogered this time. Strapped down. I went ahead and threw a strap over the hood because I wasn't sure if it would actually come off or not. You can see tires touching the little frame deal back here. Suspension bits are obviously bent. You know, I was kind of most scared about this strut tower right here, and I'm assuming it's pushed back just a smidge, but overall I don't think it'll be too bad to get it back. This is a 2.3 liter EcoBoost car. I'm not sure exactly on the miles on it. Yeah, you can see. Oh, look, it has a car seat in it. Hopefully they weren't in it when we got in a wreck. But yeah, front under tray of the bumper, we got the seats. Seats look pretty cool. That one has the airbag deployed. It does have the key with it. Online I said it didn't have a key, which is nice. Oh, it has a GoPro on the dash. I wonder what happened there. And yeah, so if you know whose car this was, because they're probably videoing something. They also got some like puke on the ground. Actually, yeah, that kind of stinks. Maybe that's like chocolate milk. But it is an automatic. I can't really pop the hood and show you guys anything under there. Well, because it's obviously all strapped down. One of the these headlights are super expensive, so I don't know how I'm gonna go about doing that. I guess I need to make sure all this stuff isn't gonna flap. We're going down the highway. This window is down, so maybe this will last all the way home, maybe it won't. But yeah, I guess I don't know. We are on our way to pick up a hood now. So yeah, like I said, we are on our way to go get a hood now. I got on Craigslist when I was getting ready to leave the house earlier, and there's one on there. It's a 15 hood off of a GT, and the guy, I guess, went through like a barbed wire fence and then took it to this body guy to like have him repair it, and ended up buying a new hood. So he left the hood with the body guy, so I'm buying it from the body guy. And yeah, because hoods are expensive and they're a pain in the butt to ship. So fenders, bumper, and all that other stuff shouldn't be terrible. Like I said, I know the headlights are like super expensive. They're like $700 or $500 or something like that. So I don't know, we'll talk about parts when we get home. Just give you little towing sounds. So I have it in tow haul right now. The passenger window down. We got a nice little ricochet off this wall. The tow haul, I guess it likes to downshift when you like rip on it like that. You hit the brakes, it's like, uh-oh. I don't know if it's using it doesn't really feel like it's actually using like the exhaust brake thing. They haven't sent me the revision yet for the tune that makes it actually like work when it's under 160 as far as like fully fueling it or whatever. You actually hear the turbo now. So there's videos like part like picking up a Mustang and part like doing like a review on this truck, like seeing what I think about it, like towing and everything. It was pretty cool. I mean, it's not as like rowdy sounding as like a 6-liter Powerstroke that's straight piped. Definitely has more power though. You can hear it downshift, and maybe it is using the exhaust brake like a little bit, but I don't know. But we're only like 7 minutes away from that guy's house with the hood, so we just got the hood. It's off a GT, so it needs the louvers, but yeah, it definitely needs a hood. So the guy who actually got the hood from, he actually works for like body shops and stuff, so he has like connections and stuff, so he knows, you know, he could order all like the parts and stuff it costs, which is really sweet. So that's actually like almost the best situation that I could have ran into. So this hood I paid $200 for. The hoods alone are like $1,400 or $1,600 new, and you know, so this one has a little bit of barbed wire scratching on the side of it, which isn't a big deal, and like a little bitty, like almost like a hell dent in the center. That ain't no big deal at all. So I guess we're gonna get back home. I was gonna do a little clip of getting on the highway, but some weird stuff kind of when you like on throttle and then like let off throttle, but it's because as soon as you like or like close the window, you're good to go. All right, so got it back to the shop, and this is kind of how we're gonna attempt to get it off. Might have been able to just throw a like a spare or something on the front and like let it roll off the back, but it's gonna have to go on the lift anyhow. So basically what you have to do is just lift it up super tall in the front, and that's pretty much it. So lift it up tall, get the little lift guys underneath it, and then just jack it up in the air. So David was sanding his floor today. That's why he didn't join me. He's trying to finish his house to sell it. But yeah, I guess let's see if we could get this thing off here without breaking anything. Alright, so that actually went pretty well, and so I guess now we could look at some of the suspension underneath it. And you can see the bumper is destroyed, fender, hood, bumper, headlight, all that crap. I believe this whole strut tower top piece is gonna have to be replaced, but hopefully that's not too big of a deal. Yeah, you can see the little there's this little intercooler, little EcoBoost intercooler. Look, it has, is that like electronically controlled? Look at this. Yeah. It like opens and shuts the intercooler.
Yeah.
To like let air in or out. That's kind of.
It's so you don't like have a huge drag coefficient, because the less air you're sucking in through like intercoolers and radiators and stuff like that. Porsche 911s do it.
Huh, that's
or
interesting.
Like the GT, like whatever the hell it is.
And that's unplugged right there, which that's kind of weird. But Dave, do you have my light?
I think it's on the car.
Oh, David.
On the trunk.
Yeah, flat tire. As you can see, the 2015s, they have independent rear suspension. And I don't know the diff ratio of this guy. It's an 8.8 though. Those are the numbers on it. If you guys could see, I think it has a, I guess we can't spin it because it's in park. Yeah, I've never even looked underneath one of these because I've never really had to. But yeah, look at that. I guess that's kind of a rear sump setup for it, like an electric power steering deal. You can see this thing from loading and unloading. The wheel is definitely busted over here. Hopefully you guys could see all that. Alright, so now that I have my flashlight, or a flashlight, you can kind of see. So these things are kind of a weird, look at that, a suspension arm actually completely busted out of it. So look at that front one. So that one actually just completely popped out of there. So maybe it didn't actually bend a whole lot of stuff. Well, I mean, it bent that lower control arm. You can see that's way bent. But maybe it's not as bad as we think. It's nice it has an actual oil filter too. That's one thing I like about the 6.7 Powerstroke, because it has an actual oil filter, automatic transmission, Vigo catalytic converter right off the downpipe on the turbo. And let's see, so this guy looks a little bent. I don't know. So I guess now I gotta decide if I want to try to make this thing like completely stock again as far as like suspension, just so I could like move it around, or if I should just nut up or shut up and do like the whole like angle kit, because Justin Pollock, he makes his own like custom angle kits for these things, and he has like 70 degrees of angle on his FD car. I was talking to him a little bit at Winter Jam about these things, and he said they drift really, really good. So I don't know. His has a lot of carbon fiber stuff on it too, so his actually weighs like 3,000 pounds, even like with the cage and everything in it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess slow her down and maybe see if we could pop the hood and start it. Oh, David found the fog light.
They're LEDs.
And he's all pumped about it. So he wants
I
to
just want to see how bright they are.
He wants to see if he can get it.
I don't know where all those little like connector keys are.
Look at that.
Oh shit.
There they are. Oh, here's a spare battery too. There you go.
Nice.
See if we can blind ourselves.
Yeah. If you're not welding, it doesn't count.
Alright, the moment of truth. Will it blind us?
White guy and a blue guy.
A white guy and a blue guy walk into a bar. What happens?
I don't know. Where's the positive on this thing?
Like this side is.
The side? The whole side?
Yeah. Oh,
Damn, that is pretty bright.
Alright, come on, blind me, Dave.
Oh no, it doesn't want to work.
Blind me.
Hold on.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty bright.
Yeah.
For a stock light.
Jeez.
I mean, it has a huge heat sink on it.
Jeez, that wasn't cool, Dave.
I'm surprised how bright they
Here,
are.
let's use that to look underneath the car. So these are 19-inch wheels on here. It's got this little stripe down the side. I want to look in the interior, see what kind of goodies are in there. I know I got me a car seat, which I probably won't use, but unless it's good. Yeah, lower it down. All right, so we
Should I put gloves on here?
yeah, probably.
Oh, what's this?
You think that's still in there? That's We're rummaging through the trunk.
This is the great thing about buying auction cars. No mobile hotspot. Prepaid. That would have been tight.
That would have been. We could have had Wi-Fi at the shop.
Until it ran out.
We had Wi-Fi at the shop. Yeah, look at this. We got balls. They obviously had a kid. Green Day.
Yeah, there's a clipboard for you.
Ooh, tight.
There's a mouse, dead mouse.
Look at
dead mouse.
Oh wow, there is a dead mouse in there. Damn.
Careful with that.
That's
shit.
crazy. Look, there's a air pump in here instead. Temporary mobility kit instead of a spare tire.
Army dude. Yeah, fuck that dead mouse. I don't like dead mouse.
Yeah, I don't like dead mice either. But yeah, so now you can kind of see like this whole section over here is kind of like crumpled. I went ahead and I busted off the air box just so I kind of wiped the inside of the tube because there's a little bit of dust in there, and you know, until it was kind of clean. Yeah, look at all the LEDs. So then I went ahead and I hooked up the battery jump box onto it, and I want to see if it'll run. So I kind of want to get the driver door open so that I could at least like sit in there and cut some of this airbag out of there too. So I need to pull off some of this fender. So I'm gonna do that and kind of let this battery figure out what it's gonna do, and then try to start it in a minute. So I pulled out the steering wheel airbag. I cut off this like the driver side curtain, and then the one in the seat, and then I stuffed the one for the feet back up underneath there. It's crazy how many airbags are in new cars, and good thing this thing's turning into a drift car. So yeah, I guess trunk ajar. Okay, push all the buttons. Do all the things. So let's see, push brake. Check brake system, driver door ajar. Run power active. Press brake to start. Maybe the battery's just way too dead. Yeah, the battery's probably way too dead. So yeah, we'll probably disconnect.
When he wrecked, his fucking GoPro fell off.
Yeah, and he has a GoPro deal right here. So this car does have like 45,000 miles on it, and yeah, they smoked Camels. There's probably disconnect the battery. Do we have any good batteries? Maybe the one in this.
We have a Riley's card. Some money on it, but it's too late now.
No, it's 8:49. We can still make it. What post is this? So that's positive on the front left.
That's the right.
That's, yeah. What else do we have?
Nothing.
Positive on the front left. A saw battery would work.
Yeah, but it's too big. It's a tiny battery. Oh, that Honda battery.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
I bet that would work. So we swapped in a Honda battery.
Now we're
I
gonna
got
see
the
if
little.
this turns into a blender.
Why is it gonna turn into a blender?
Because his headlight exploded, and there's obviously headlight pieces in the airbox, and this tube goes like straight down to the
I was
turbo.
looking down there and I didn't see any.
It was like way down here.
Hopefully.
It's a big smooth tube.
Well, let's take it off. Should we?
I mean, unless you want to like just like turn a turbo into a blender.
I don't think there's anything in there, but maybe there. I mean,
you can test the theory out.
let's send it, David. All right, so crawl in here. So we got. So we're unlocked. Oh wow! There we are, engine on. Holy shit!
It's like it looks like the tube looks like a megaphone.
Video out there.
Like this tube is a big megaphone. Here, let me straighten this out a little bit. No, try it now. This thing runs rich. Like really rich. You'd think like the SU was in here or something. What do you think? Connect your phone. Think he'll do a burn off? Maybe. Even though that like lower control arm's broken. Oh, it's on the lift. Well, you lift it up some, so it's not all the way up, so. Lift it up a little more.
I bet this thing rips.
Everybody that gets one of these Mustangs, just don't run an air filter.
Because it sounds good. Oh yeah, this thing really rips. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, maybe there is something else that goes on this air box.
Well, I mean, I guarantee it wouldn't sound that, stock wouldn't be that loud.
I mean, if you had the air box like with no filter in it, it'd probably still be loud.
Yeah.
And didn't have any of the, like, there's probably like some baffling tubing stuff that goes down here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I just want to pull off this thing right here and then call it good for the night. Well, that's cool that it runs, and I'm actually really pumped that it had the key with it. Initially, it said it had the key on the actual auction, but then on the windshield, like right here, it says no key. But I think maybe they just didn't see the key hanging underneath the airbag. But I don't know. I really wish this thing was a manual, because if it was a manual, honestly, I would keep it with the EcoBoost. What do you think, Dave?
Swap it in the Supra.
So yeah, so an Eco, I don't know. You guys are gonna have to let me know what power plant or what engine you guys would like me to put in here. I kind of have my idea, because this thing is an automatic, and you know it's an EcoBoost, which is, I think, would be fine if it was a manual. But the money that I would spend to convert it to a manual, it would almost make more sense, because to sell this whole engine and tranny package and then put in a slightly unorthodox like Mustang, you know, like I guess an engine that doesn't belong in a Mustang is kind of what I'm saying. But yeah, so like I said, I'm pretty sure this kind of whole little frame piece right here is going to have to be replaced, but I don't really think that's going to be too big of a deal. And you know, get some suspension bits and put some air in the tires, and then I'll be able to cruise this thing around. I really would like to make some videos of it, like actually, you know, no hood, no fender, no bumper, no whatever. Just take it up to IMI and drift it automatic and see how it would be to drift an automatic car. I think that would be pretty cool. It'd be cool if we could get that drift stick, you know, the one that Ford released that actually works on the like on the Focus RS's, because it, like, since the Focus RS, because it's all-wheel drive, it like disconnects the ABS. I don't know, it does something weird, and it uses the ABS to like lock the rear diff. It almost looks like this quarter's been painted. You can see kind of a weird ripple in it. Yeah, this quarter's been painted. But yeah, anyhow, I think it'd be cool to drift it automatic, but you know, like I said, I kind of have an idea of what's going in there. Too bad we didn't have this thing outside. Oh, if we would have started it on the trailer, we could have done trailer burnout.
Yeah, but they want to do a burnout.
No, why? Well, that was because traction control was on at first. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Mustang thing. Like I said, this is kind of something I've been wanting. You know, if you guys paid attention in my what video was that? Winter Jam video. I was kind of talking about an S550 Mustang, and maybe we'll do another video talking about. Should I tell them how much I paid for it? Probably. So my bid on this thing was $3,800 is what I won it for, and then after all the auction fees and the broker fees and all that stuff, because I don't have a dealer license, was like $4,500 and some change out the door. So I did look up on the internet, or I was looking on eBay before I bought this one, and I seen the same exact engine and tranny setup, the 2.3 EcoBoost and the 6-speed automatic transmission. One of those recently sold for like a buy it now price on eBay for like $5,000. So if I could sell this engine and tranny for, you know, between $4,000 and $5,000, and then essentially have a very, very cheap like rolling shell of a Mustang that I could, you know, then put a 2JZ or figure out something with, maybe figure out if I could get like maybe like a wrecked 5.0 that's wrecked really, really bad in the rear. I don't know, something like that. It's all kind of up in the air. But we're gonna take this off so I could see more pieces. So, and kind of another reason why I got this one is because it is from Colorado. It's not a flood one, and because it was wrecked, so that means like all the electronics and the interior stuff is all like good. It hasn't got like moldy or anything like that. So chances are, with all like these flooded Mustangs and everything, I should be able to sell like a lot of the modules and like, you know, the computers and all the random stuff out of like the interior out of it, and actually be able to make a decent amount of money back on it. And yeah, that was kind of another reason. Also, if you guys are wondering why I did not get a 5.0, like a couple of the ones that were selling on there, they basically sell between like 15 and 20 grand for one, you know, depending on condition and stuff. And, you know, I was kind of looking at it from like a drivetrain perspective of, basically, I was kind of looking at it as like, how much does it cost for like a rolling shell? So the 5 liter, like the new Coyote with a 6-speed manual, you could sell those between like $9,000 and $12,000 somewhere in there for that whole swap. You know, then you minus the cost of the car. So if you're like 15 to 20,000, you know, you're between, you know, like what would that be? Like 7,000 on like the 20 side. Well, like 8,000, or like let's say you got the car for, you know, 15, and then you sold the engine and tranny for like 9. You'd have like 5 or 6 in the whole like rolling shell essentially. So I was kind of looking at it in that aspect, because like right now I could go out and buy a Coyote, you know, for 10 grand and put it in here and then have like 10 grand in one. I don't know, it's confusing. I don't know what I'm doing. I wanted to drift a Mustang. I want to put a JZ in a Mustang. So or if you guys know of any cheap ways to convert one of these to a manual, honestly, it would be really cool to leave this thing in here and drift an EcoBoost Mustang. But. And this is that hood that I got from that guy. So, yeah, there was another one on Craigslist for $700. I guess from the dealer, they're 14, and I got this one for 200. You could see this car went through a barbed wire fence and got some scratches right there. And then there's one like little hell damage, like looking ding right there where something got dropped on it. Now it is missing the louvers, but this is the one off of a GT, and this is what I guess they have. They have like the little air vents right there, whereas this hood is just completely, basically, you know, completely smooth. So doesn't have no dents. Well, it's not smooth anymore, but yeah, this aluminum hood, aluminum fenders. I don't know how much else of the car is actually aluminum, but probably a lot. But yeah, anyhow, needless to say, if you guys know anybody with parts, I'm gonna say left-hand fender, a front bumper, headlights, the radiator support, and then I'll probably buy this from the Ford dealer is probably where I'll have to get that. I already got the hood. These hinges look kind of boogered, so I'm definitely gonna need some hood hinges. What else? What else do you think I need? angle kit, manual transmission conversion for 2.3 EcoBoost, 2JZ swap mounts, you know, I don't know. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for tagging along. I know.